Welcome back to another video. This one, as you can see, we've already made a start on some building, and we have built the lighthouse up. It's only taken, 10 episodes to get it sorted. First episode, we got over, we found the island, and we made plans for it. The scaffolding dirt was up for ages. We've committed, we've done it, we've got wandering traders spawning at the top of it, but we have a lighthouse in place. Let's get a bit of an advantage point, and then we can take a look at the top side of it. From the town square, you can see it is quite imposing. It does look as tall as the town hall building that I've got here, this kind of like planning office. But I think when we've got another building up here, maybe some trees and something like that, it will block it out a little bit. I mean, I know lighthouses, they do need to be a little bit bigger, just for the thing. But there's the top of it. We've got some metal bars, iron railings or whatever they are at the top. So they do render in. So it does look like it's floating a little bit, but I think it's good enough just for decoration. So what are the plans for the rest of this episode? Well, what I'm going to do is we are going to get a farm inside here. So at the minute it is empty, but we do have quite a bit of space for something. And I think sugarcane farm is probably going to be the best option in here. Then what we need to do is figure out a connecting area from here onto this area where we're going to have like a dock or a marina. And I'm going to be trying to build a boat. I have found a decent design that I am going to copy a little bit later on. But I think the first thing I want to do, get a sugarcane farm. I'm not going to be able to put much sugarcane in here, but it's going to do enough for just me. End of the day, this area, it is just for me. It's just going to get me enough sugarcane, paper, sugar, whatever I need for it. But let's gather some materials and do the design. Right, so what is the design we are going for? So we're going for an automatic sugarcane farm. Some people, again, like with the sheep farm and the wool farm, some people might recognise this design. If not, it's always good to go over some things. Simple redstone, because I am not a redstoner. I just relax like this world. I am pushing myself. So the basic principle design for this, let's just do a small version, is we have water behind. So the sugarcane will go in front, a block just in front, and then we're going to have a piston, and then on top of it, facing outward, let me just put this there, we will have an observer going out the back, a block on top. Let's do a couple more so you can get an idea. And then on top of these, we have redstone. So it's a very, very simple design. So sugarcane can grow 3 tall. I've got my sugarcane. So, like I said, the basic premise is they can grow 3 tall. But when this one facing the observer grows that third one, it fires the redstone pulse, it goes across all these, which power the pistons. So again, all the pistons that are on the module breaks, and then that's how we get the sugarcane done automatically. Now, most of the time, it will have losses. There's sometimes where they will land on here. I am going to, when I do it, put blocks like this across it so that it stops them maybe potentially going on the top of it. Doesn't affect anything with regards to how the redstone works. And in this, we're going to have modules of 5. So as you can see, we've got a nice 5 space, 5 space, 5 space, 5 space. So we can get 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And we can maybe get 1 here. I'm not sure yet. But we can get 1 on this side and 1 on that side. So we'll have 6 modules of 5. We'll have 30 lots. Like I said, it's not going to be the most efficient one out there. I might be able to fit 1 in on this side as well. And 1 on this side. Maybe 1 on this one, but probably not on this one. we'll see how we go along. Like I said, I don't need it to be the most efficient. I just need it there so that I can have an ongoing supply of sugarcane when needed. But let me start getting this all built up. Right, so as you can see, I am Spooky Ghost Man because I am in a copy of the realm. We now have the firm built. Now, the problem with it, and this is why we're in spectator mode, is now you can't see up the way that I've got this set out. I've done an overnight AFK session. I've only got about 9 stacks or something in that one, a couple of stacks in that one. Wasn't a full, like, long time. I think it was only about 7 hours. So 7 hours and that is pretty good for what there is in here, because we have this. So from the top down, we have 2 rows. Like I said, you can see there's going to be losses in this farm with them. This side, I don't know if this side's actually doing it. But the main ones that are going to be producing are from these ones. But I managed to get, you know, like, apart from the top one, a few there and a few here. So all in all, it's not actually too bad. And then the thing is, they all go in, they all land into the water and then into the hopper, into the collection system below, which is right here. Just on this, increase the tick speed. Let's just do 100 and see what that would look like. So these top ones, I think these top ones are, you know, you're only getting 1 or 2. There must be a better way for these ones. Maybe if I just get rid of one, it might make it a little bit better. These ones in this row. Again, losses. Again, there must be something I can do to stop them. These ones. Again, we're getting some losses, but the premise is there. I think when you get them on the bigger scale, that's when you get the better options. So, as you can see, I've changed the pathway design a little bit just to make it a little lighter for when I do the next set of maps. And I've actually done the full pathways now between everywhere. But on the approach to the beach, as you can see, I don't know if I did it in the last video, but the ship has now gone. It was a good idea to get it, you know, like, restored, but the space involved is not enough. So I think we were going to do a new one. Now, this design that I found, it's from Reddit. It's a 4-year-old post. I think it's from someone called Bestario. Apologies if I butchered the name there. But they did quite a decent, like, image of, you know, how to do some blueprints of how to do it and build it. It's going to be quite a long one, so that's why I think it's going to be perfect for round here. But especially with a tall lighthouse, I'm going to have a tall ship. So let's get the frame put in. Now, I think we might do it a little bit out from the water. Maybe, like, from here, the first bits are in, so that we can do a little pathway down. Let me go in. And then, yeah. I mean, it's 8 wide anyway, so if I start from here, you know, like 11 wide, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, there's 8 there. So if I call this the middle section and start it here, I will get the framework put in and then come back because I'm going to make a few mistakes. So we've got the outer shell of this in. So as you can see, it is going to be a longboat. But I think one of the beauties of when this design first came out to now is it was very limited in block palette. But now we can actually make it a little bit more customizable colours that what we want. Next step of this though is we're going to put in some sails and some supports. So let's get these in. So the sails are in now. I might have them a little bit off from what the design was, so it doesn't really tell you how many up or down it is. But you can see we're getting a decent idea now of where everything is on this. Got a very big gap between these. I think that might have been a little bit too much. Actually, it's missing one in the middle. So when I'm doing the next bit, I'll put one in the middle as well. But the next step is just to get the surround in. This again, wood types, but you know, from what it was on there, I think we're gonna do our own colours, make it our own a little bit more. So let's figure out some colours. Let's just use this building for a moment. Would that be too much of a contrast? Maybe. Spruce. Maybe spruce. I think I've got some in the warehouse. Let's get a palette together. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's see what spruce would be like on top.
Hamburger.
I think that gives it a nice accent. Let's get that on round the sides. And here is what we've got so far. So we have the red on the bottom and then the spruce on the top. I think that gives it a nice little look. It's the reminds me of the old Captain Hook ship back in the day in the Peter Pan days. The next step is going to be it's on this. It is slabs, stairs, and blocks. Basically going around the edges, putting up onto the walkway on there. But basically the edges and then underneath defining it a little bit more. So let's figure out a nice block we can use that has them variants. I think we're going to go orc on this. So let me get one little section of this in now, and then we can see how it actually looks. So it's there, and then there, there, and then there, and then it needs that on there, that way, that there, that way. Hopefully that's going on the right way. This one is the same, so that way and that way. This is getting harder and harder to navigate. Let's just see how this is for now. In fact, that might actually be a slab. That actually gives a nice contrast if the that wasn't in the way. That gives a nice contrast. I think it makes it lighter as it goes up. I like that. We will get this all around. So we've got those bits in now. I think this is looking really good. Now, the next step is to get these bits sorted, like these middle bits, and the actual, like, kind of main floor that you'll be standing on. The good thing is it's slabbed, so it'll be at this level with a step going down, and that gives you a nice walking area. And then there's a bit of a design in here, mainly using stairs. So let me get a lot of stairs so they all match in and get them in. And then the flooring, I think we're going to go spruce as well. That way it doesn't look too samey with the orc. Yes, so a lot of time has passed in between clips. I mean, you can see a sneak preview of everything like to the left of me. I really got into building between clips. I carried on like the little bits of the ship. I then did the sails, the little decorations, and then I just carried on building. I just really got into it. I was really having fun. And the result is this. So you can see the ships there. We've got some sails on there, a couple of different colours. My main thinking on the sails was, you know, like they were white at one point, but, you know, they get dirty, they get ripped. But instead of just cleaning them, they just replace the bits that got dirty. So that's why the white bits are in there. So they were white and red. Obviously, there isn't really a dark red. But then there's a couple of bits here, all in this like port style that you can walk around. So let's look at the ship closer up first. So we've got a name there. It's the Gentle Jaw. So the ship is called the Gentle Jaw. We've got the 3 little boardwalks on there so that you can get onto the ship. Got a nice little holder, ladders where you can get up to points, rigging everywhere. There's not really much decoration on the ship. Got a nice little like captain's table, little ways up the side where you can get to where the wheel is. My best attempt at a wheel. I did stop looking at the instructions on this after a little bit to make it a little bit more my style. Little bits at the side there where you can potentially go out, but there's not really anywhere to go. Very symmetrical ship, and then the only way in and out of like the bottom bit is just down here, where again little bits of storage. Everywhere's fully lit up, but we've got little bits here and there of things like kegs and barrels and a few pots. And again, the way in and out. And then the port area. So the way that I figured this is there's a spot here for a ship, spot here for a ship. It just depends on the size of them that come in. But they are going to need 2 or 3 of these little customs things and things to declare and things like that. So, one or 2 places where they come in, they go straight to these ones. One here and one just here. This wandering trader has been going in and out of them as well. And when it has looked pretty good. If only there was a way to keep them there. Then we've got a couple of extra bits where we've got like a bit of a crane to lift up and down some cargo that has gone in. I could have had it going up here so that it looked like it'll go in and out, but then I think it'd be too tall because there is a couple of bits that you need to take into consideration with the height of it. This, all in all, is a very high build, and it is quite visible throughout the island. We will go over that a little bit as we go on, but we've got just the little pier, like port side. All this is very similar. Got some greens in there to break it up, some reds and some oranges. Again, another lot of like things to go on. Like people are just like these guys bringing the cargo off, just popping it in one of these and then going back up, kind of like a story within it. A little tavern area here with some quite high bar stools. Not gonna lie, these are quite high. You can get on them though. And then just barrels like kegs, some pots making it look like cups. Tables and seating, so a lot of tables and seating around, everything well lit up. And these shacks, same idea as like the woodcutters area that I had for those kind of storage areas. Just repurposed the kind of design for it, tweaked it a little bit so that it's got this. And then we have, we've got some like just little trees in pots everywhere, little bits of like glow licen just for the extra lighting. But all in all, just making it look like it's all lived in, lived up, and it's like got a story towards it. So I'm actually quite happy with how this has all come along. Like I said, I just got into a mod and just built it. The one thing I did want to do is break up the areas. So I wanted a way to connect the beach side of the area and the port side. So definitely, the one thing I thought is, if we get an archway and a different path style, I've still not connected the paths yet because I'm not sure of the best way to do it. But if there was this and then into this, you could tell there was definitely 2 different areas. Still need a way to fit the lighthouse into it and maybe a connection into both. But as I did the archway, I got really, really lucky with the positioning of it. Now, this was really unintended, but it's worked out really well. If you stand in the right spot, like here, that really frames that area really well. I mean, that could just be a painting or something like that. That was completely unintentional. I just wanted an archway, and I just figured as I was going along, around here was the nicest bit. I was doing the bits up here, just lining out a pathway, and then went, you know what, a little archway here into here would be good. Built it, turned around, and I just saw the ship, and I was like, that is really nice. So that is really good. It's really framed how it looks, and that, I think, is one of the best bits about this building, how it gives it a nice little framework. Now, one thing I did mention about was the sheer size of that ship. Now, one thing that, you know, it is a little bit like, especially when the pier's in, it is going to hide most of it, you know, especially when you're here. That's going to be a building for the pier, so that is going to hide it. You know, you see little peaks here, but I am probably going to have some trees up at this point to block it. So I think one of the big things about this is it needs blocking, especially with the lighthouse. So this is where I do want to do sight lines and things like that, where, you know, we do hide it a little bit. Like, the ship's definitely hidden. The lighthouse, you know, little bits pop out. But when you look at it from the other side of the island, this is where things start to... I need to start thinking about designs. So I can see the lighthouse is there, but I'm going to need that hidden. Now, hopefully, the builds that I have planned, so I've got a little building there, and then this building here, like the general store, I think this one is, if I remember rightly. General store. So the general store should block it. You only see a little bit of the flag. Trees should then block that. So that shouldn't be too bad. But then when I'm in the square, again, I need to think about it. So one of the things that is a worry is the lighthouse again. Now, I do have a library plan there, so a little bit might poke out of it. Maybe break up here with some trees in this section. Like, so this little gap here, definitely if I put some trees up, that could block it, because I only have a path planned down to there and then round. So some trees around here might actually be the best solution for that. And then when you're looking at it from the other side of the back of the island, so where I have ruins planned, so this is one of the southernmost parts of the island, you know, there's the barn, there's the storage and things like that. For some context, you know, you can definitely see it. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing that you can see the ship there and the lighthouse there. It may just need something. I've got the manor planned here, so that's going to give another thing on the horizon. It's going to be time to sleep. Going to have something there on the horizon. The lighthouse, it might need a couple of trees or something on this side to block it, but then again, there's where the library is planned. It is just going to be little things like this where I need to take into consideration, because the height of that is quite high. It is a little bit taller than I want. But all in all, I think this was a successful project, this side of things. The lighthouse might need a little bit tweaking in the future just to give it that little bit better of a look. But I think the way that this has gone in, this side, I think this side is pretty much complete. When I do this boardwalk side and the promenade side that goes round, I am just going to put it down there and we can connect it to this bit, so then that fully connects in. But I think as story goes for this, where like people come in and out, I think that's pretty good. I might put an extra, you know, like in between videos, put an extra small ship just here or something, just so it gives a little, it's not just going out into nothing. If a little ship here, that might give it a little bit extra and a little bit more lifting. But I think whereas it comes to this thing, it's got that nice cozy feel in and around, where like the woodcutters area that I feel like is a somewhat finished area. It's nice. It's not too overbearing. You can see there's each individual build. There's little decorations, but it's not too cramped. I think it's just the right amount of things. I think if I'd have gone too many tables on here, it would have been too much. You know, too much on the floor. I think a little makes a lot with this. But I am definitely, absolutely out of video time for today. Thank you for bearing with me on this video. I know it has taken quite a while, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time when we finish off the beach by tackling the pier.